What's up, everyone? CC and RR fans, fans of Lego in general, back for another episode, hot off the press, the Batwing. Here it is, Lego 76161, 2,363 pieces, 200 US skrills for this beast. It's pretty big. It goes with the Batmobile, so if you got that, obviously you got to get this. That's how they hook you. I'm going to be building this, and I'm going to show some quick review of the box here. I'm excited because CC's not here, and he's always miserable when it comes to Legos. But this is just going to be all me today, and it's going to take hours to build this, hours upon hours. But I will have each build so you can see all the goodies, as I usually do for the Lego portion of the CC and RR show. There it is, classic 1989 colors, that nice classic gold. Let me flip this so you can see the back of it. It's virtually the same, but it does have some pics of the minifigs. It does come with a display stand with a plaque there, and there are your dimensions. And then lastly, you can hang this mother on the wall if you want, which is a secret compartment in the cockpit where it will go, and I will show you that as well. The other side of the box is basically the same here, it just shows the Batwing again. And so one last look at this classic beast of a ship. Let's get down into it and look at the instructions. Here we go. So you get one giant manual, pretty thick. And a little unique difference here, if you open this up, where they usually tell you what all the bags go to, they basically just say, yeah, bag 1 through 13 or 1 through 12 is the Batwing, and bag 13 is the stand. Usually they'll do like bag 1 through 3 is, you know, the outline, and bag 4 through 6 is something else. So they just went ahead and said, yep, every bag is basically for the Batwing. So that's what you get. There are 13 total bags, and about 3 unmarked bags that have like the cockpit pieces and various Technic pieces. You do get, like most of these sort of UCS sets, you do get some nice artwork and some nice details, and that is actually the Lego Batwing, which is kind of cool. From the movie, they kind of put it up on the moon like in the movie. And then they got some details about the movie Batwing. Some of the features that they try to replicate in Lego. The designer and some commentary from him, as you'd expect. And then a little bit of commentary from the designer of the stickers and the minifigs. And then you got your famous "I'm Batman," the gratuitous, you know, ploy marketing to get you to buy the Batmobile if you have not. But come on, I mean, if you have the Batwing, I would assume that you probably have the Batmobile, right? Maybe not, but hey, pretty cool. Having both of them together in the same scale. And lastly, the famous shot from the movie that shows the Batwing coming after the Joker. All right, and then you are straight into the build. You do get one sticker sheet. Not too many stickers in. Most of these are going to be in the cockpit. You can see there's the Bat engine, which is obviously a little bit of Liberty there. And then you have the giant sticker for the plaque. All right, let's get to building, and we'll see how this beast goes. Here we are, fans. After 3 grueling bags, I have the base of the ship complete. Out of the 3 bags, tons of Technic. You can't really see it all. This is some of the base here and in here, but the whole inner workings of this thing is nothing but giant square Technic pieces that you put together with the pins. So on bag 3 and some of 2 is where you really start doing sort of the shell of this. And you can see the back is now completely coated in plates. This piece in the middle is where you would hang it up on the wall. You can see the little hook area there, right in the middle. That's a solid piece with basically 4 Technic pins holding it in. So that's where that's going to be, and ultimately that's where the cockpit is going to be. So moving on to bag 4. I just want to show quickly here in bag 1, you do get to do your Batman. And this is the same Batman that you get with the Batmobile, and I'll do a closer look at him a little bit later on, but he is also in this build for bag 1. All right, guys, so here we go. So this thing is definitely big. I mean, they're banking on you liking this thing because of how big it is, and it's pretty big. I will say, though, after 3 additional bags, the build is pretty repetitive. You spend basically 3 bags putting this whole top layer on and then doing these side pieces in the wings, which were interesting. I don't know if they were completely necessary the way they did it, but basically it's its own separate piece, and it kind of accordions around, and then it's connected by a few pieces, including 2 rubber bands, mainly here, one up here, and then there's a couple over here. So I don't know if that was fully necessary, but you basically spent 2 whole bags building these giant rings, and then you put the plates on top. So the other part that's interesting about this, I mean, right now it's about 1 inch thick. So I've built 6 bags so far out of 13 being basically the stand. So really half the Batwing, and it's only about 1 inch thick. So pretty interesting there so far. That's going to be the top, that's the bottom. So hopefully we're going to start to get to some depth and some more detail on this. But I will say bags 4 through 6 were very repetitive. I mean, it is a ship, but man, deja vu. All right, back to building. All right, fans, 7, 8, and 9 are now done, and this is where we're at. So a lot more work done on the wings. Again, lots of repetition. So each side is exactly the same. There's no difference. So everything you do on the left, you got to do on the right. So just keep that in mind as you go through this. You build up this tail on each side as well, and you build a little bit of the greebling along the sides there as well. And I've now applied my first 2 stickers, which is the interior cockpit, which we'll go through a little bit more detail later on. The other thing that was interesting is you do build a little bit of the bottom. Not a whole lot of detail on the bottom. We'll get into that later, but it's a little bit of detail that you have there, mainly in the middle. And I'll show that later once the stand is built. But again, keep that in mind if you're interested in the set. It's huge. It looks cool, just in general, how big it is. And it is definitely got some cool accuracy to it as it comes to completeness. So a few more bags to go. So here is the final product. The beautiful Batwing from the 1989 Batman movie. It is complete. It is huge, which is pretty awesome. You can see on my coffee table here, it takes up about half my coffee table. So it's a pretty nice big set. It comes with a stand that you build. There's your sticker for your plaque. This does not move. So you basically get sort of one position of the ship, but I think it looks really good on the stand. And so let's get into this. So it is a very repetitive build, as I said before, but the end product looks pretty cool when you put it on display, and I'm going to put it next to the Batmobile so you can kind of see what that looks like as well. You have these sort of air flaps that can sit flush and go up. You get one on each side. You get these pretty cool Gatling guns. These do not move or do anything. These wings here will move up and down depending on how you want them, but if you put them like that, they sort of stay stationary, so you kind of know where they go. There's these fake guns in the front. There's no shooters or anything on this guy. It's just all sort of for display. So here, take a gander at all of this. It looks really good. It definitely looks good. It's pretty well built and solid. It's a little fragile in a few places, but it's pretty solid to say the least. These guns in the back do not shoot either. And the cockpit does come off. It's got this little piece here. You can get that off. This is all brick built, giant top. Now it just sits on here. It does have some friction, so it's not gonna just flap off, but there's nothing sort of connecting it to the rest of the base. So this is where a majority of your stickers are, all throughout here. You get a sticker right there that's got the Bat engine on it. You can do a 360 of this interior. You see that, and you got a sticker in the front, several stickers in the front there. You can see there, that's the sticker. You can see that that's the big blow up that that Batman goes and clips. There are not a whole lot of features on this. I'll show you really what's out there, but you get your little joints or your joysticks. This seat can move up a little bit if you wanted to. You have this sticker back here, and then this pops up and it reveals your 2 crowbars, and you use these crowbars to pry open the front of the seat. Let's see if I can do this. You use it to pry open the front, this little seat here, and that's where you would hang it on the wall. So let's see here if I can get this to work. I don't know I can't recall where you pry it. I think you pry it here. Yeah, you pry it here. So you pry that off. Sorry. You pry that off, and then you can see where it gets hung on the wall. These 2 pieces here are only on by 1 stud, so they do move, as you can see. So just keep that in mind. But use your little pry stick to pry off in the front here, that piece. Okay? And you get 2 of those, and you put them right back in there, and you're good to go. So that's that. There's no other real features on the Batwing other than that. So this, you can see, sits right back in there, and you're good. So I'll put it on the stand so you can see what it looks like. Just before I put it on the stand, you can see the bottom here. There's not a whole lot of stuff going on. You do have, I guess that's supposed to be landing gear, if you will, but it's for the most part pretty flat on the bottom. There's your hook for the wall, and then where that blue hole is, that's the square that fits on the stand top. So here we go. Okay, so here you go with the Batwing on the stand. I think this stand does very well. It's pretty sturdy, so you don't have to really worry about it falling. It doesn't move on the stand. There's no sort of adjustment, so it kind of looks pretty cool, like it's taken off. There you go from the back. You can see that. We go back up there. Pretty cool. All right, so moving on to the minifigures, you do get this buildable stand like you do on the Batmobile as well. You get 3 figures. You get the boombox guy, which to me is a questionable choice. You get another Batman, which is a repack. And you get this Joker, which I think is a questionable choice. I know they were trying to do something different here, but interesting choices of minifigs. They should have done Bob and really Joker from the scene where the Batwing is being filmed. Especially he should have had his long gun, which would have been pretty cool as well. But his print on his jacket is pretty cool for the boombox guy. He's got printing on the side. Let's see, we zoom in there so you can see that, which is pretty cool. And he's got a little bit of printing on the back. Joker's got cloth on the bottom, a little printing on his back, no back printing on the head. And there's your face, or your Joker, which is kind of cool. Batman, I mean, he's cool looking, but it's the same one. So here to see if I can pop his helmet off so you can see this. There's your Batman. And the back, he does have a double-sided head. So next, I will put this bad boy up to the Batmobile, and we'll wrap it up. All right, so here we go. Here's your Batmobile. And there's your Batwing. They are definitely to scale, which is pretty cool. They're very nicely paired together between the two. They both come with stands, although this one to me is a questionable stand. You kind of sit on it, you can spin this thing around 360. It would have been nicer if they did kind of like a, you know, just a stand that sat up next to the vehicle. This one is kind of odd, but anyway, the Batwing definitely looks good. I mean, if you're getting one, you might as well get the other because they both fit very well together. The stands for the figures are identical, which is actually kind of interesting that they didn't do anything different. You're getting basically the same Gotham ledge between the two. So the builds are identical, but obviously the two figures are a little different. So in my opinion, that Joker, which came with the Batmobile, probably should have been the one that comes with the Batwing, but he should have came with his long gun. But either way, very little to complain about with the ultimate look of this thing. I think they did a great job on it in general. It is a repetitive build. That's sort of my only real knock on it. But yeah, get these if you love the movie, because you will not be disappointed. And I'll show you here just a second kind of how this would look if you put it on the wall, which would be pretty sweet. Okay, fans, so if you were gonna hang this on the wall, this is how it would look in live, which is pretty cool. It's pretty big and it would look pretty sweet on the wall. Obviously you don't want to put it on a door, but if you're gonna hang it, it would look pretty impressive on the wall. So there's that, and you can see the cockpit doesn't slide off. And just for completeness, here is the bottom of it and how it would look. There are some wings here on the bottom. All right, CCNR fans, until the next exciting episode, stay tuned.